In reality, this place was really, really awful. Someone who wore a straitjacket right where you're sitting.
Actually, I'm looking at this.
Oh. Alright, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today, Sonny and I are back on the campus of an old psychiatric center. We actually explored this place a few months back. We went into the old recreation building that was on this campus. If you want to check out that building, I'll pop it up above me. But right now, we are actually in the main psychiatric ward. This was where all the patients were staying. I came into this building way, way back before I ever made YouTube videos. So I'm kind of hyped to revisit, get some of that old nostalgia back from being in this place so long ago. But I think with that all being said, I think we're just ready to get right on into it, so let's just see what we can find. So we just found the mission statement of this psychiatric center, and it's talking about how their mission was to provide hope, respect, and recovery for these people with mental illness, and that all the people, supposedly, who knew them best would understand that they were all about kind of giving all of this attention to their clients, their patients, all this love and care. And I see Sonny shaking his head. I don't think we agree with that.
It's just sad, you know, just to like read this and to think they legit thought this was the
Good.
vision of this place.
They thought
But
this place was good.
We know from the history that it's not true. So it's like, where did it go wrong? And why are these still on the walls?
Yeah, I know. They're just trying to cover up, you know, put all these nice statements out, but in reality, this place was really, really awful. It was super, super sad to know what actually went down here. And now we've made our way into the dental unit, which is kind of an exciting place to start. And this is something that I do not remember finding last time, which is so funny because I feel like this was right in front of me the first time when I was here, but somehow I missed it, and that happens. But this is, I believe, one of the units and areas for conducting x-rays, and I think that's the case because you get one of these kind of like almost like a door looking thing that you can tell is like transportable. It's got the wheels. But I think it's made specifically for people to be behind of, like say all the employees who are kind of operating all of this radiation technology. As you can see on the wall, some of them have the yellow and red symbols for radiation. And I think this room, as you can tell, there's nothing built in here for someone to kind of duck behind and have protection. So I think they had these in place instead. So, you know, you could tuck behind, still see the patient through there, give instructions, but also be protected from the radiation, the exposure, because, you know, having that on a daily, weekly basis working here for years at a time, probably not good. I'm kind of going to give you a closer look at some of the equipment as well. You see this one is, what I imagine is one of the x-ray components that you can use here. I feel like I remember, like, you know, going to the dentist, you know, modernly, I feel like even some of the pieces of equipment look quite like this too, kind of getting an idea of, you know, what your teeth are looking like, if the patient's had anything, maybe cavities, or who knows exactly what the treatment looked like here. See, it all comes back to the wall mount here. It's a Gendex GX 900. So, interesting stuff. And it also, you can actually see here too, manufactured February of 1989. So, not super old, but this place, I'm trying to recall, I believe, I'll have to double check, but I think this shut down in 2006. So that kind of makes sense with the timeline there, that maybe they got a slightly newer piece of equipment prior to the location inevitably being shut down. Maybe they didn't really anticipate that, so. Here is another piece of equipment. This one is a Panel Clips 2. Again, I'm not too sure exactly what the differences are here, but again, you got like a similar piece to that other one we just saw, where it has like that component here. I believe this is where you kind of be focusing any of the x-ray or radiation to get that image you're looking for. I'm actually going to tuck around here, but this also reminds me of going to the dentist because you kind of sit at these spots here, right? And there are these disposable plastic covers. So this is actually where a patient bit down here, and then the tech, whoever's involved here, would move this around to adjust it to get the image they needed. And same thing here, I don't know if this is where maybe they would focus their head. Same thing, these pieces should be disposable so that between each patient they would be tossed and reused. So it's kind of nuts to see this and think, who was the last patient who touched that? Who bit that? That's kind of like really, really fascinating, actually. That's kind of something I didn't expect to see here still. you know, after being abandoned for 14 years, you kind of think that a lot of this stuff gets pretty beat up, but cool find. So I'm actually having Sonny demonstrate kind of what it would look like. So you'd have the patient sitting right there. Obviously, probably for sanitary purposes, he doesn't really want to actually put his mouth on that, but that's where it would be. So can you imagine like someone in that space? That's what it would feel like. How does it feel? Do you feel like you empathize with the patient experience now just a little bit more?
I don't know. Feels weird.
Feels weird?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would expect so. So me and Sonny were actually talking about something else too, which I think I realized before. This piece over here can definitely freely rotate, but this one here I think only would move around when it was on. So it could like kind of do a spin around scan, something like that, to kind of get a full view of your entire skull or your face, because it would look at your, you know, all of your teeth and how that's like connecting in with your, I'm assuming your jaw and how everything's implanted as a whole. So kind of getting that big picture.
This is what I use one of these, a more modern one obviously, when I got my wisdom teeth out, because they want a scan of everything, your jaw, like you just said, and this thing will scan around your whole face, and it gets a x-ray, a 3D x-ray of your skull, so they can see everything. So this is obviously an older version, but still the same concept.
Yeah, so in some ways these places are very outdated, but in some ways they're not as far from modern day as you...
This was futuristic when it came out.
True, definitely revolutionary, but cool stuff, cool find so far already.
Yeah. Now it's forgotten.
Sonny's having a blast pushing these buttons right now, but this is actually the, I'm assuming what was the big power box that probably controlled that bigger x-ray machine that we saw before. You can see all those little things. Doesn't really do much now, but yeah, it says x-ray, KVP, power on, tube 1, tube 2. Not too sure about any of these things. And then this one tube also has a date on it of July 1984. So a little bit older than the other one, but not too much older. These are the papers, I guess, that go with the Gendex box thing here, the power system. And I guess this is actually the image more so for how to set it up properly for like a patient, more like for this machine. So I guess they are kind of associated like I thought. You can see like the bite guide, those like pieces where to adjust them to make sure that the face is all lined up properly. Again, like I mentioned, there'd be that plastic cover there, so that each patient would have a fresh one, so it wasn't just all grimy. Or a patient, you know, putting their same mouth on them, because that's pretty gross. But yeah, cool to see this. Knowing someone like an employee literally highlighted these things, that's really cool. Here's the adjoining room to that x-ray kind of room. And I think this is just honestly where they would develop any x-rays that were produced. You can see there's a light box right up here. A lot of other things too, volume control, temp selector, water input, developer. And there's other things here too with like the labels. When you lift this up, I'm gonna try not to make too much noise. You can see that they're really like, kind of like thin but also deep. Kind of like something that could fit a x-ray sheet and have them developed in there, and then of course you would put this over top and that would protect them from the light, because that's something really important for developing x-rays. And so whenever they were done, then you could look up here and maybe evaluate the patient's condition, think of maybe if there was cavities or teeth that needed to be pulled, because interestingly enough, a lot of teeth did get pulled in psychiatric centers, and sadly that was not out of need, that was out of preventative measures to make sure that they wouldn't bite the employees. So that's lovely to know. This is another pretty interesting and kind of relevant room to the whole dentist section. Specifically up here, I believe, is where any dental kind of trays and molds would be kind of stored up here, hanging. I understand they've been probably long gone by now. Who knows who has them in their possession, or if they were just tossed when this place got shut down. There's a few other rogue papers here too, kind of like phone numbers and precautions, things like that. Nothing too out of the ordinary, honestly, for a place like this. So this is a paper on the tabletop actually here that lists all the lot numbers of some of the chemicals and anesthetics, hydrogen peroxide, things that they probably, I'm assuming, bought in bulk. And so they probably have like a batch expiration date that they wrote down here. And it makes sense that this place, like I said, shut down in 2006, so Looks like a lot of these like expiration dates fall around, you know, early 2000s, one 2006, mostly in 2003. We made our way up a few floors, and we're kind of just trying to look around a little bit, and we're kind of a little interested to see what's going on, at least on this floor, because it looks like a patient ward, but when I'm also walking around, I've seen a lot of notes like related to dental, which is kind of strange because we just came from downstairs. But yeah, you can see here, dental chart room. There's a few other like dental themed rooms too. So I guess it wasn't exclusive to downstairs. Maybe this was like a different section for maybe the patients just on this ward. Yeah, as I was saying before, very dental themed in here. And this is part of it, which is this section here that is like I'm guessing is another part of the dental office or dental unit here. Looking up to you see like this big light. Probably that was their main lighting source to keep it really bright in here while they were doing any procedures. So this is actually really freaking creepy. This is a baby doll that's charred because it was set on fire, and now it's frozen because it is cold in here. So that's really eerie. People are doing some really weird stuff in here, it seems like. So as Sonny and I were wandering down the hall, we found one of these rooms with a bunch of these books and folders and binders. And I dug through some of these, I guess they're boxes, old cardboard boxes stacked, I mean, all over the place. Probably when they thought this place was going down, they just put it all up and shoved it in a room. So some of these are a little more intact. They were protected from the water damage, and I found some of these kind of like different varieties of management, like alcoholism management. This one is anger management. They have like various, don't want to drop it, weeks, like week 9, week 7. Talk about all these different skills for each week. Kind of like that the patients would be there in person, but they would earn tokens for attending and like good behavior and stuff. And then up here too, I was kind of curious about this token business, and these are the rules about them. That you earn your first token by being on time and being seated in the chair at the beginning of the class. Second token, you must stay in the class for the entire time, and you only leave the class with the instructor's permission. Third token, for completing the objective for the course, and what else does it even say? Tokens cannot be lent, borrowed, traded, or stolen, because you can imagine that was probably going to be an issue. Now, I don't want to dig into this so much more because as you guys can see, it is pretty nasty and probably covering in asbestos, so it's not the greatest thing to be digging all through, but group rules included the fact that there are no dumb or quote-unquote crazy questions. That's definitely a sensitive way to put it. It is okay to pass or not answer a question. No swearing. Be sensitive to other people's feelings. This is just so cool, and man, it's just like, you can just see how grimy they all are, but like, you know, it adds to that feeling of like you're touching history. I always say that. I feel like that's my go-to quote every time I'm exploring. I'm touching history. But it is, it's something that I find absolutely so cool, like digging through all this, and then you like feel connected to what patients experienced here. It's just wild. So we're up in another random ward. We kind of had to do a whole loop-de-loop situation because some of the doors here to certain wards are locked, and so we kind of went up a floor, down some stairs, kind of looped around to get around the locked door. But this is cool. I haven't seen this, at least from the last time I was here. It's like a whole like medical cabinet with like topical, it says glucometer, sterile supplies. Up there it says like suture tray, so for like stitching up somebody, nail clippers. There's like a eye examination paper. Only thing that would make this cooler is if it was all still full of stuff, but it's so cool knowing that people came in here and rummaged through to get the supplies they needed for their patients. This is the opposite side of what I just showed you guys. And this is another section, I guess, where they would store other things. So we see it says sharps, long-acting injectables, short-acting injectables. Now what I also thought was interesting too is that tucked over here is like this door that has to be like locked and open and closed. And maybe this was like where patients could have like medications disposed of to them or dispensed to them. So for maybe if like they had an injectionable medication, they knew they had to come here and get that administered by the nurse at a certain time. Or like I was thinking maybe with the sharps, that can include things like razors. Maybe for like the women, if we were staying here, maybe they could use it during their shower time. Maybe pick it up over here and then make sure to distribute it back so that it was kind of like accounted for. But there's a Sonny boy. And then I pointed this out to him too before too, that we were thinking maybe this at one point said medication room, something, facility, who knows. And as we're continuing to make our way through this more secured unit in this building, this is one of the actually designated units probably for maximum security need patients. We see these security mirrors. I was actually pretty dumb in another video at a different psychiatric center. I referred to these maybe as like potentially hidden cameras because I didn't know at the time that these were made mainly to help protect staff from, you know, maybe patients hiding behind doors that might want to attack them. This just basically allows them to very clearly see the full picture of what's in the room. If the patients are behind the door, it avoids any blind spots. So it is purely a security measure for any of the nurses working in a maximum security ward with maybe some more unpredictable patients. So I'm actually really excited to show you guys this because this is one of the things I have always wanted to cross off my list and say I've seen. So this is a maximum security padded room, and it's gonna look really boring, I guess, but it's just wild to be inside of it and know that this was used for patients. It's just nuts. I don't know. It just doesn't feel real being in here. And again, of course, because some of the patients that were in here were also very unpredictable. Again, we'd have like the security mirror in there for anyone who's working here. Like kind of like a security net over any potential exits because you can't really put anything past these patients just for safety reasons. And that's it. That and a very harsh LED panel, which I can imagine is super unpleasant probably in here, just to have nothing else but you and this harsh fluorescent lighting. Definitely a tough pill to swallow. Imagine what it's like. Oh my god, I swear to god, no. Oh, I hate this. Man, this feels even creepier now. I swear to god, thank god that you didn't actually close it, because
I'm not gonna actually close it, but it's...
I know.
Imagine that you would be a patient and they locked you in, closed you in.
Yeah, even just like for 2 seconds, I wouldn't be able to tolerate it. So imagine this being your life. And it's like, it's actually not as squishy as I thought it was gonna be.
Maybe over time it gets harder because
yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it used to be more squishy and then maybe, yeah.
Being exposed to all the elements, I think over time it would make this harder because it's really not soft. It's like, it's squishy a little bit, but like I said, you could like knock yourself out by slamming your head against this easily.
So I'm thinking either something happened that like over time, like it didn't get maintained and so it got like not squishy, or again, at the worst, if someone knocked themselves out, that's not obviously ideal, but you couldn't also like hurt yourself more if like that's the worst you could do to yourself here. So I decided to back up just for a second just to give you guys a little like spatial context as to how much space you actually get in here. That's Sonny, and that's his little square of space if he was a patient here. I could not imagine being in this. If this was your reality 24/7 and you just got out for, I don't know, maybe medications, a doctor's visit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you even get let out? Or do they just bring things to you here? Like, what do they do to provide safe treatment for people?
You get a straight jacket or handcuffs.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Room, and then they give you food and stuff. I doubt they're going to give the person food in here. I just throw it everywhere, probably.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, that's another good point, too, though, is that this location was known for using straitjackets. So I would not be surprised if someone who was in this space right here, we could very well be sharing space with right now with someone who wore a straitjacket right where you're sitting. Just really powerful how that feels. It just feels absolutely...
It does feel weird. I just feel like sad.
Yeah, I do too. It's just hard to... I feel like that's what happens. Like you say you're an empath. I don't know if I identify as an empath, but I do feel like a connection. And it just makes me feel really, really sad. But it also feels very empowering coming in here and kind of like taking back that moment for them and exposing what they, you know.
And you can actually, I'm looking at like...
Oh.
This was about to shut.
Yeah.
This is about to shut. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. Oh my god.
As I said, I saw scratches on the wall. This was gonna shut.
Oh,
Has the wind moved this at all the whole time?
No, that's nuts. Oh my god. Imagine if that
I just
slammed.
didn't want to get locked in here.
That would have been crazy. But yeah, also guys, because you just mentioned the scratches. Oh, don't mind the banging again. Yeah, you could see some of these scratches actually here. Not just on
look, I can't even do it with my nail if I'm doing this.
Yeah.
This is like someone dubbed their nail in.
That is like that's intense.
This, and even here, it looks like, look, see this? On the glass.
Yeah, on the glass too. You don't even, it's hard to probably see, but
this is like a plexiglass. It's
and
not
this is like,
glass.
again, and guys, this is a section that is usually pretty like locked off. From what I understood, that for a long time, this room was actually not even accessible. Oh, I just saw Sonny's face. But Yeah, that's probably one of the most amazing things I've come across. I don't know about you, what about you, Sonny? Do you feel like this is
It makes it real. It makes it real because you walk around and you see all these rooms and they're graffitied and people come in here and they don't care about these places. And this room makes it real, and it makes that vision you have in your head a reality, because this is exactly what it was used for.
And it's exactly what it looked like. It's so preserved. It's one of the few rooms I could say is like a true reflection of a patient's experience here, and it's preserved. 100%. This is exactly what it looked like when someone was in here. So I'll leave you guys with that, and we'll probably run around a little more, see if there's anything else cool to show you guys. But this was definitely an amazing highlight. I'm so glad I came here today and got to experience this. So guys, we kind of stayed here way longer than we thought we would. It's completely dark, and we happen to be in a section where it's completely frozen, and Sonny's nearly eating it every 2 seconds. But yeah, we just want to be really thorough. I don't really think there's anything else really left in here, and yeah, I think that's kind of where we're gonna leave off in this video, right, Sonia?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting really cold. It's super sketchy to be in here when it's this dark out, because I'm worried about people seeing our lights in the building. So I think we're gonna very slowly shuffle our way to the exit, and hopefully we don't fall in the process. But yeah. Oh my gosh, this is not good for clumsy people like me. How are you feeling, Sonny? Ready to head out?
I feel good, from my view, especially after the paranormal stuff that was going on. But
yeah, guys, because you don't know, but or at least I helped out Sonny on, for his channel. He filmed the paranormal investigation inside, partially in that padded room, partially in other areas in this building. So we got really hooked up in a lot of that. And now it's dark, it's cold,
icy,
frozen, real frozen,
half frozen, half icy,
slushy. So we are gonna make our way on out of here very slowly so we don't hurt ourselves. This is important. Bando safety, guys. Wear good gear and don't slip on ice on your way out.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed walking through this abandoned psychiatric center with Sonny and I. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And of course, like always, I'll catch ya in the next one.